We've sent all of our grandkids to camp, and they chose what camp to go to, but we said we would pay for it because we thought that's a thing that we knew meant a lot to us, and it was worth the investment to send our grandkids.
Red, I think if it wasn't for camp, it sort of kept us from going off into other areas of our life, which we may have forgotten God.
Camp looks like camp. We walk through it. It hasn't changed an awful lot. It's gotten better. Having been with other camps throughout my life, you always hear about Phantom Ranch and what a bright light it is in the camping business. There are some camps that have become very social. There are. You get a lot of kids there. It doesn't have the same effect Phantom Ranch had, and I think that's from the very beginning. It was set up a certain way, and that way's been preserved. I don't see that part of camp changing. Other things have changed, and they sure needed to. I think that canteen, first of all, I think it's the next thing camp needs because it's a commons area. And you really don't have a commons area at camp. You have an area out in front of the mess hall that kids hang around, and if the weather's bad, you have to go to the old chapel or the new chapel and hang out. And where you have a building like this, you can have a camp store. You can have kids come and deliver the services they need from that building and give them a place to sit around with their counselors or just sit around. A commons area, booths or benches or tables to sit. It becomes the meet and greet area at camp, and that's so important, and that's going to be a place that's going to be used in the summer more than anything else. The canteen was an integral part of what went on at camp. As you know now, camping, kids come up with money, and it's a social activity there. They're with their friends, they're talking, they're hanging around. I can remember at camp when it first opened, there was a big overhang around the canteen, and if it was raining, there'd be kids down there out of the rain just hanging out. It's a crooked building, and it wasn't built that way. It's slowly settling into the swamp because there was nothing done to stop that problem. That swamp, I don't know how deep it is there, maybe 40 feet. To build a building there is not the place for that building. I think the future for Phantom Ranch has certainly got to be bright. I think the camp over the years has done the right thing. Camping in general, I don't see Christian camping anywhere falling short. I see it going along and getting bigger, and you can use the facilities for other groups. You can run your own programs through camp, and it's a chance for kids to get away. If they come up on Friday night and go home Sunday afternoon, where else can you get them for 2 full days?
Finished a week of being the camp nurse. It was a wonderful week of seeing the Lord work. We just had the closing ceremony, the celebration of what God had done during the week. It was amazing to me as I looked at the platform, saw all these boys up there praising the Lord and singing songs. And then I saw their leaders. And as I looked at the leaders, I realized that some of those leaders were our buckaroos when I was part of the awesome buckaroo ministry team and served the Lord here for many years. It was just so heartwarming to think that they were little boys years ago and now they are in a position of leadership. My granddaughter was sitting next to me and I said, Samantha, just think what has happened in these boys' lives, the little ones. We don't know what's going to happen to them in the years to come, what God's plans are for them, but maybe they're going to be in leadership positions like our little buckaroos who grew up are doing right now. It was just so thrilling to think that God has a plan for those kids' lives. Well, I was filled to overflowing after I came out of that. Next thing up is the Yay God session for the whole entire staff from this past week, when it gives them the opportunity to tell others of us what God did in people's lives. And here we've got housekeeping staff, dish crew staff, leaders, maintenance, you name it, we were all there. And we all shared magnificent stories of God's faithfulness and how He showed up and impacted people's lives this year. Some of those kids are going to be spending eternity in heaven as a result of this week. We had so many Yay God opportunities. And one of the things that struck me as well, not only were some of the leaders that had been little buckaroos, but there was a story of God's faithfulness to the generations, because some of those kids that were leaders, I knew their parents up at camp. Also knew some of their grandparents. The legacy of faith and the legacy of Phantom Ranch has been passed on from generation to generation. And it's true. They are faithful to what God has called them to do here at Phantom Ranch, to know Christ and to make Him known.